Hello, family. I feel so Miss Rachel by doing that. My youngest nephew, he loves Miss Rachel, and she's always like, hello. So forgive me. Hey, family. It's Uppity. It's Jessica. I'm in here. Why am I stimming? So, reclassification of the American Negro, right? Let's talk a little bit about that because I just saw a woman go viral because it's a foundational Black American woman. She's Solon on both sides, on Solon on all sides. And when she went to ancestrydna.com, when she first did her genealogy, they had a bunch of stuff in Africa. And less than a month ago, they snatched all her information out of Africa and just put it in the lower southeast region of America. Now, why do you suppose they did that? Because I'm telling you, ancestrydna.com did the same thing to me, but in a different way. When I tested myself, and don't do my lineage because I'm Solon on all sides, but there was a people group sold into specifically Louisiana and Brazil, and they're called Roma. So they would have been seen as like Afro Romani. And if you don't know the name of this people, think of Esmeralda from the Quasimodo. That image where she's dark and she's got the bushy eyebrows, the light eyes, the long black hair, right? Those are Roma people. So their inward, the way that we have the inward, their inward is gypsy, because in ancient times they were kicked around Egypt. This is I was gonna say this is why a lot of Black people claim, Egyptian heritage. We're not lying, we're not lying. Um, but they were specifically and exclusively sold into Louisiana and into Brazil, but we absorbed them. So that's why there's no, oh, we enslaved, other group. We absorbed them. And as a matter of fact, that's what the gypsies do everywhere because they have been historically such a persecuted people. They blend into and melt into, marry into, and become absorbed by the people groups around them because they're so afraid to be identified as gypsies, right? And so, due to where they've been historically, right? Um, on my ancestry DNA was, of course, the colonizers were there. They had the Africa stuff, but I mean, when I tell you they had Myanmar, Burma, when I tell you they had the subcontinent, India, Chinese Thai, they had Khmer Wat, they had Indonesian in my blood. I was like, well, would you look at that? Not me being a whole Cambodian, like, wait a minute. I'm Laos, no wonder the ABG homies with the girl. Um, but in reality, I always thought I was Creole because that's what the gypsy people would do. They would claim to be Creole, and them folk were not Creole. They were just Black people who have this kind of Asian ancestry, right? But make the red gravy and the boudin and the crawfish and whatever else. But that's actually where we get our tradition of jumping over the broom. And this is another statement for the people who say we ain't African, because people are like, oh, you jumped the broom. This is the African. No, it's never been that way. It's always been a Romani tradition. You can Google these people now. Roman. It's weird because when you say Romani, people think Roman or they think Roma, whatever, Roma tomatoes. I don't know, but these are a specific group of dark people. Um, Anyhow, long story short, absorbed. That's why my mama Black, my daddy Black, and both sets of grandparents are Black, right? It was just in there and, small amounts. Uh, but what I'm trying to say is I know that history. But an ancestry DNA reflected it for about a year. I went back and they wiped it all. And I'm like, why are you changing people's DNA? Because that's the part of it that's a joke. That's the part of it that becomes these entertainment only type situations because they're just playing with people, playing hopscotch with people. And it's only because I know that history about Louisiana that I was able to validate that name and get some screenshots. But anyhow, I only tell that story to say that like ancestry DNA has a history of this, of just like, diagnosing people as, such a thing and then removing the entire continent of that place, remixing it with this. And it's like, just do your genealogy on there because these people trying to tell you where you're from, blah, 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 blah. Like it's a stretch. They can tell you where your people have been, but I've been to Qatar. I've been to South Africa. I'm not a Qatari and I'm not Osa. You feel me? Okay. Why did I say that? That is such a ugh. I know why I said that. I've been watching house tours in Renton, Washington, and it's just a very Seattle hood nigga thing to say. So let me not. Anyhow, adjusting my screen here. Go on ahead and like the video. It's the freest way to support your favorite content creators, even if I am not your favorite content creator. If you like content like this will tell your YouTube algorithm this is what I want to see, and it will provide you more of this. This is this is wonderful because they're slow walking that we are American Indians, which is why I called this video, why Native Americans don't like to, you can't call these people Indians. They think it's so offensive. Whole time you got teams named after Indians and Red Sox and blah, 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 right? Because that's us. The reason they want to be called Native American and not American Indian because American Indians are us. Just like a West Indian is a Jamaican, an American Indian is us. You can do all that Jamaican out of many one people, but like these people are Ottawaks and Tainos and whatever else. I show Speed went to go see those people and he's like, what kind of hair is this? And they're like, yeah, we're original Tainos. I forget which Caribbean island he was in, but I'm just like, that's my hair on that person that you're pulling. That's exactly what my hair looks like all down my back. What my grandma's hair, what my daddy hair looked like all down his back. And it's just some long nigga hair. I mean, I'll spare you from going to watch it, but you can. There's a very viral moment where he's talking to these Taino people, and it's like, oh, well, we thought these people would look like Latinas. You know that show Taina from the '90s? Like, nah, she's. These people are half caste. These people are mixed. These people, they keep telling you this is what the natives look like. No, they're half caste. These are these copper colored, thick hair, tall, athletic. Like this is what we actually look like. And I remember Aisho Speed's father was trying to tell him, you're an American Indian and your people have always been here. And he's like, dude, that's a joke. And I'm like, yeah, because you went to public school and you got these Jelaine Maxwell, uh, McGraw, McMillan and Hill, McGraw Hill, McMillan books. Sure. All these blue star, white flag lies that you got. Sure, but no, that's not who you are. There's a reason you've been reclassified so many times. You've been reclassified out of your birthright. That's how you go from American Aborigine to American Indian to Negro to color to Black to African American, Afro American, back to Black to minority, whatever else. That's how you have a group of people who are renamed so many times. A lot of places have been renamed family. Like you can talk about, oh, well, what happened to Mesopotamia? Well, it's still Iran, Iraq, that area, whatever. And we know Iraq is an old name because Iraq is Uruk, and we have the tablets and whatever that talk about that. You might have Ethiopia. It's like, oh, well, before it was Ethiopia, it was Abyssinia and Habesh, but it's like this is two or three names. This ain't 15 names in 80 years. This is three names in 3,000 years. But we have been reclassified so much out of our birthright. And now push is coming to shove with this birthright citizenship because what people won't tell you is that these Native Americans have never been birthright citizens. As a matter of fact, they would have to come off the reservation to give birth in an American hospital in order to make themselves American citizens and then go back to the reservation. Check that.
I don't know if everybody caught Lindsey Graham saying this.
Slavery. Yeah, I'm not there. I overcome all of our mistakes with the American Indian, you name it.
Why those two terms together? And why did he sound like he wasn't supposed to say it? Then you got Trump going on national TV to say
that case is all about babies of slaves.
So everybody skipped over this.
Do you think Native Americans today are birthright citizens? I think so. I mean, obviously, they've been granted citizenship by statute.
Put aside the statute. You think they're birthright citizens?
No, I think the clear understanding that everybody agrees in the congressional debates is that the children of tribal Indians are not birthright citizens.
I understand.
But let's not forget about this clear, direct statement.
They intended that the children of tribal Indians who resided on reservations and owed their direct allegiance to their tribes would not be entitled to birthright citizenship, but the children of assimilated Indians and had established permanent residence among the body politic of the states would be entitled to birthright citizenship.
What I know and what I've heard and just what I've seen is the GOV is trying to say that birthright citizenships of Native Americans isn't a real thing because we actually came from Siberia. People's reservations are getting split in half and some are being sent to Canada.
Bitch.
I don't know